everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Alliance today, as you probably discerned from the background. They recently revised one of their very popular members of the Valor All-Access series here. This is something that not everybody needs, like a 14-foot garage for a big side-by-side mega ATV or something like that. And there's certainly folks that need that. This is intentionally built to be a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, a little bit more modest within the All-Access series, which is Alliance's way of saying, like, little brother, basically. Like, there's Avenue, then there's Avenue All-Access, there's Valor All-Access, essentially, or VAC. I don't think they mean for that to be an acronym, but it is now. This thing right here only has a 10-foot garage. It's not a big, giant mega garage. But, like, if you have just a four-wheeler or a couple dirt bikes or even e-bikes or kayaks or something like that, this could be a really cool fit. Or, hear me out here, this is actually an absolutely awesome, like, 2-bedroom, bath-and-a-half RV. You don't have to look at something like this as exclusively a toy hauler. This could be, like, if you have, let's say, a mother-in-law or father-in-law, or you have an adult child with special needs, or just you have big kids and a normal bunkhouse made for 72-inch long littles doesn't work for you. This is an RV that can give you big sleeping for up to 6 adult-sized people before anyone is even crashing on the couch or up in the loft in the garage. And I really like how the loft is enclosed and facing into the garage instead of into the living area like a lot of lofts did in the past. Now, there's a couple options. Basically, every option that's possible on this is displayed here. The generator, the 3 Seasons patio door, and the ramp patio package, those 3 things are options. And technically, you can size down to an optional queen bed. But for the most part, you're getting a look at this thing with anything that it really can have from the factory. And you folks said, hey, Josh, why don't you record more toy haulers? So today I'm getting one for you. And if you appreciate how we listen and try to fulfill, hit that subscribe button and let's go. So I spend enough time in front of the camera. When I do this stuff, sometimes I like to kind of get out the way and let you folks see it with, your point of view. So walking in the RV, this is what you're looking at right here. One of the things I want to point out is, Alliance has a couple different air conditioning executions systems that they like to use. In the All-Access series like this, they do use centrally ducted Coleman Mach units. But Alliance has always been about trying to provide maximum efficiency, maximum function and airflow off their air system. So they equip their air ducting with the RV airflow system. Now, the trick is that's a name brand object. When I say it has the RV airflow system, you're like, well, yeah, wouldn't it have airflow? There's normal centralized ducting. And then there's a company that used to sell stuff third-party aftermarket that some manufacturers like Alliance have adopted called the RV airflow system. As self-explanatory as the name is, basically it enhances and maximizes the functional efficiency and airflow of the central ducting on this, so it's also quieter and, it cools you better. Now, there's some household and USB plugs kind of hidden back here. If I sound a couple times like I'm like, it's because I didn't realize today when I came to Alliance, they said they were going to buy me lunch. And what they sprung on me was a hot wing challenge. And I am not a person who is great with spicy foods. I'm just not. I'm just a tender little thing. And I'm still... the lips and the mouth are kind of on fire. I thankfully never touched my eyes, and I was smart enough to wash my hands before and after I used the bathroom, because otherwise that would have been a whole situation. And before HR calls me, I'm going to take a seat. Now, you can see my balding reflection in the TV over there. I'm legitimately sitting at the sofa, just laying my arm across it up here. The TV is at ideal straight across viewing, which I appreciate. Got the electric space heat and Tootsie toaster down there below the stereo. The JBL sound system in this is pretty good. It doesn't have like one of those big rock your face off subwoofer kind of systems that some RVs have. That's not what this is. That's also why you could buy 2 of those for 1 of these. This is the function first and the fashion second kind of thing. I do like that accent light crown molding that they have going on here. So in case you're curious, if you're sitting at the sofa, this is kind of the social arrangement. If someone's up there in the kitchen, this is what it would look like. And obviously I don't use a fisheye wide angle lens. Now, I do have the camera kind of shoved in front of my face a little bit because I have found that due to physics, trying to shove the camera into my face does not provide the best viewing experience necessarily. Why are the lights flickering? That was weird. All right, I'll have to figure that out later. That's weird. I bumped so these are power theater recliners on the end of the sofa, and I bumped that button. I wonder if that's what caused the lights to flicker? That seems weird. Anyway, I don't necessarily always have an answer. Now, you saw that I folded that armrest out of the way. If you look really closely, you can actually see the very tip of a manual ripcord style recliner in the middle. So the middle is a manual ripcord. The two end seats are power theater recliners, which is, they move a little bit slower, but sometimes you can just find that perfect sweet spot to take that pressure off your legs and let your calves kind of, breathe a little bit better. That's one of the kind of neat things that we have here. Now, this floor plan, it puts a lot of pressure on the kitchen. That's the trick with a toy hauler, especially as you try to get it smaller, is that something has to make sacrifices. So, if you're like, yeah, but, you lose a bunch of living space because of that garage, then what I would recommend is you look at like an Avenue 32 RLS and you regain all the kitchen and living space in the garage. But if you don't want to go giganto massive truck and trailer and you want to be able to bring something with you, this is that in between spot right there. I'm going to come back in a second and get all this storage opened up. I will tell you, it's going to be kind of difficult, I think, to sort of showcase for you all the storage going on here under the island. I'll figure out the best way I think I can do that. Before I forget, I almost always forget to talk about this on the line, so I'm glad they put these stickers on here for idiots like me. You see that little sticker says Smart Wire. They actually color and number code all of their wires, which sounds like such a simple, basic thing, but most RV manufacturers don't. So even if someone's colorblind, they number code the wires so that there's two ways for them to get it right. And it's much, much easier to trace down wiring that has been color and number coded in the event of a service issue, which essentially means it helps get you, back on the road and out of the shop much, much quicker. And just because I mentioned, I thought I'd pop that middle recliner out to kind of give you an idea. I'll try to see if I can show you how much walk-around space there is in a second. The trick with a floor plan like this, because I don't use fisheye wide-angle lenses, it kind of makes it difficult in tight quarters like this to showcase everything. Now, the posters laying down here in the cabinet, they don't look very smexy. I did that because it's dark on dark in there, and I wanted you to get to see what kind of space was in it. Big triple drawers in the island. That's part of the reason the island is asymmetrical, because if you notice, if you tried to center up the sink, which would visibly look cool, you wouldn't be able to put a drawer there because you would be running into the sink, and obviously that would be a problem. Now I'm looking over here at this little kind of like coffee bar thing. I'm going to guess that there are some power outlets under the overhead. Yes, there are. There's one set of outlets kind of in the upper right-hand corner of your screen right now. Your main cabin lighting also is on a dimmer switch. One thing you might notice, doesn't matter which Alliance RV you're in, you're not going to find like the Bluetooth smart command digital centers or anything like that. They don't tend to do that stuff. They really just kind of stick to switches. Now, it's easy to overlook because previously you had either 8 or 10 cubic foot 12-volt fridges, but more and more sizes are available, and that's a new 12 cubic foot variety. What's great is it provides proportionally, I feel, very good cold storage capacity without a massive impact on the footprint of the floor plan. It's deep and it's tall, but it's not super wide. So it's something that can squeeze into spaces that historically a 12 cubic foot refrigerator freezer in the history of the RV industry just never would fit. Previously the only 12 cubic foot fridges were gas and electric, and they occupied almost literally double the space of that thing right there. Now that storage up there is awful frickin' tall, but it's there because, there's basically a loft and a bathroom cavity on the other side of that wall. So they just said, instead of wasting the wall space, let's go ahead and run the cabinetry all the way up. In case you're curious, yeah, that TV can kind of pivot around. Now, it occurs to me, I said I'd give you a look at how much walk-through space you have with the recliner out right there, and I hadn't done that yet, so I figured I'll moonwalk up the stairs and give you a quick look at it there, which unintentionally, coincidentally, stages me up, frankly, kind of perfectly to just pivot over here into the bathroom. So I'm just going to keep on keeping on with it. Now, one of the things that I kind of like about this, it's easy to miss, but check out this bonus footage here. This is a soft close seat and lid, which is really nice. It's one of those things, you know, at my house, we have those. But when my wife and kid and I go hoteling, camping, whatever, we tend to get used to just being able to drop the lid and it doesn't slam down. So at least once, usually me and my kid, my wife's better at remembering than we are, from the bathroom you hear blam, ah, as one of us drops the toilet lid and it slams shut and scares, well, I would say the crap out of us, but it's too late. Moving on from there. The headroom in the shower, I was very happy with. You can see in my face, like, I don't know why. I expected it to not be that good, but it was very good. It worked very, very well. Now, the bathroom here, this actually is a Max Air fan, but it's not. When people say Max Air, what they're thinking is the big Giganto fan. This is still on that spectrum of the smaller fans, but it does have a roof vent cover built in, and you can see like a handy little nightlight built into it. If there was one thing I would do to this bathroom personally, it would be I would put 2 towel bars on this wall over here. Just because I don't really see some good places to hang towels. And that's a big, empty, vanilla chunk of space over there that personally I'd like to do something with. Now, today we're looking at the king bed, which is standard. You can get a queen in this from the factory. You actually size down to a queen as an option. I don't even know if there's any cost savings associated with it because it is kind of like, in a sense, a production change order. So your living room has central air that will duct back to the garage area, whereas your bedroom here is kind of a little bit more of a standalone thing, which as I'm looking at this... Okay, quick correction. I basically called Valor Man, and I was like, did you mean to build this with no air conditioning in the bathroom? And he went, no, that's a first run, quick little oops oversight. So the ones that go into production, this will be a central air conditioner, not a standalone air conditioner in the bedroom. So when these go into production, the bedroom central air will also have a duct that dumps cold air over here into the bathroom. So you'll have one rear air conditioner that takes care of like the living room and the garage, and then one front air conditioner that takes care of the bedroom and the bathroom. So what you're seeing here will not represent the actual thing that goes into production. That's a very important difference. I wanted to make sure you really understood that. I do like all the space at the foot of the bed. You can actually stand here in this bedroom and get dressed. By the way, apologies to any flicker sensitive, light sensitive viewers earlier. The bedroom dimmer switch was not all the way up like it is now, so these lights were flickering in the background a little bit. I try to be very sensitive to viewers like that and never try to irritate and or hurt anyone on purpose. I know I am organically rather irritating, but I can't necessarily help that. I also sort of feel like this TV hookup would be better placed over here. One, it would be centralized in front of the bed, and there's a wall stud right there, so it'd be a better spot. So, personally, I'd get the stud finder, I'd hold it up to my chest, make it go beep, and go, yep, there's one, to calibrate it, and then I would put it on the wall. I'd find a wall stud over here, and this is where I would personally mount a TV for a couple reasons. One, if you look, there's not a lot of space between the slide fascia and the wall right there, so it would be easy unintentionally to mount a TV too far out and rip it off the wall when you close the slide. And one of the things I would like to assist you with doing in these videos is to help you avoid smashing and crashing up your RV. It's just one of those little pro tips from Uncle Josh I'd like to throw out there for you. But in the meantime, I want to take a second. Let's start cracking open all the storage in here. So to begin with, under the bed here, which is easy to lift, you have normal big wide open foot locker storage. There's a couple stools that you can use to like create a dynalind basically in the kitchen, or you can take them out in the garage, or if you flip them upside down so the 4 feet stick up, you can tell the nosy neighbors that you have a place for them to sit. Moving on from that, I noticed something here. These big doors they have above the bed are fighting against themselves. Here's what I mean. I love the fact that they actually gave us full access to all the storage above the bed. Now, As you notice here, it's not super deep, and I'm still holding it up with my hand, even though it's got double struts. Because they have a true full hardwood door frame on this, it's heavy enough that it is just slowly closing itself. Apologies to anyone listening with, like, you know, earphones or something like that. It was loud in person as well. I noticed that they're both doing that. I think I don't know. It just needs something. Alliance, you just got to do something here. And I'm not trying to crap on the camp or anything. Just if I see something, I say something, because sometimes those are the conversations that fix things up. Now, again, I have come to learn after making a call to Valor Man that this is a pre-production prototype. So it does not currently have the hanging rods in the closet that will be present when this thing goes out. So those will be kind of mine and yours, you know, hanging closet spaces right there. And big quadruple dresser storage space is kind of nice in the bottom of this. As long as we are up here, let's go ahead and close that slide up. And I don't think the road mode access is going to be any major surprise to anybody. Sometimes you might look at this and say, why did they make the bed so off-center in the front? When you close that closet slide, you see why. They had to shove the bed over a little bit closer to the driver's side. Now, with the standard king bed, it absolutely makes it pretty tight to walk around. But remembering that you can go to a queen and save 10 inches off the width of this thing, you know, that might work for some people. It might not. Figured as long as I close that slide up, I close up the other two for road mode as well. So let me spin you around like a record, baby. Awful darn slow here. Whether you want it dead or alive. The bathroom, the front bedroom, easily accessed. One of the benefits of this being a north-south bed as opposed to a bed in the slide is the fact that it means the bed can, without question, be used fully while the closet slide is closed, because the one doesn't necessarily affect the other. Now, when you close this one up, it looks like, let's see what we can get here. We can't access the entirety of this 12 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator, but I think we can access enough of it that for travel access considerations, I think that counts. The freezer is going to be blocked off by the island, but to get you a quick bite to eat when you're, you know, zipping down the highway, it can do the trick. Now, short of that, though, you definitely got to open the slides up to finish getting through her. Now, toy haulers are like playing soccer for me, and with my dad bod, that says a lot. There's a lot of, you know, open this, close that, up, down, in between. I don't mind doing it because this is potentially a big purchase, and I want you, you know, you folks deserve to know what you're getting into. But remember when this video began, I said that this thing could be an amazing, potentially like 2-bedroom model that could sleep a total of, like, say 6 adults, 2 in the front, and 2 to 4 more back here. This is kind of what I'm talking about. It's one of the most unsung benefits of what we refer to as a toy hauler. Because while, yes, you can see obviously with the, you know, the tie downs, there's 9 tie downs in this floor and that coin style rubber flooring right there. Yeah, you can load stuff into it. But if you just want like a 3 seasons lounge, if you want a second bedroom, you can do that. Now, you can leave that top bed all the way in the up position and drop only the lower benches, which obviously roll over to form a bed. All of that is certainly possible. And remember on this model right here that the 3 seasons door right here, that's another optional piece of equipment along with the ramp patio package. This is non-standard. By default, the All-Access series of Valors have just a ramp that drops down to the ground when you get there. The rest of this is all stuff that can be applied optionally. I do like that rear awning, though. That's something I always forget to deploy. I'm just an idiot when it comes to that. Now, you might have noticed, like, the 2 different benches are set up in different ways. They're the same. They both have the same kind of center console armrest-ish style configuration. Now, when you're in big Valor, you start to get things like standard garage TVs. When we're in all-access little Valor, you don't tend to run into that. Oh, I didn't catch this before. I do like that rain sensing max air fan up there. That's a nice touch. And check out the power outlets up here on the right, on the right on the left side. I'm an idiot. Over there, you can see what I'm talking about. Garrett, can you circle those on the screen for people, please? I'm an idiot. Yeah, household and USB plugs for that upper bunk. That's a nice little touch right there. Another thing I noticed, I don't know that I've ever seen this before. Like over here, you go up to the loft. Look right up there. You see how there's that top gap over the TV area? it's like you have privacy in the head section over here, and for the most part your body's obscured if you're laying up in that area, or cargo. I think something like 90% of people actually use lofts as cargo, not as sleeping, but it's enough where, like, I think it'll still provide good airflow. And if you peek your head over, you can kind of see what's going on a little bit without needing to totally contort yourself to getting down over here. It's such a small thing, but now that I've seen it, I kind of want every loft to have it. Am I wrong? I don't know. Let me know. Meanwhile, we're going to finish up the garage here. Of course, we are dovetailed a little bit for, I said 9 tie downs. It actually has 11. I forgot the 2 in the corners of the dovetail back there. The ladder, obviously included to get you up to that loft. In our early flyby footage, I gave you a quick little peek at that. You can see how back here we also do have washer-dryer hookup. So they don't have them in the bedroom because it's really hard to do without a full bedroom slide to have a closet to hide stuff in. So if you want to, you could put a washer-dryer unit back here in the garage. You have a second porcelain foot flush stool back here. Taking a look on the left side of the screen, you can see it is tighter on a bigger guy like me. And, my elbows, my knees, kind of everything brushing into everything. But I don't think this one's intended to be the biggest, most awesomest, functionalist bathroom ever in the world. I think it's designed to just kind of be enough for kids or guests or something like that, And using this window as a reference, take a look at the right side of the screen. Here's like the nerd view from sitting on the toilet. One thing I did notice on this one that I don't necessarily love, and I hope you appreciate that I try to point out the good with the bad, I noticed in that half bath, it doesn't appear to have any real variety of what I generally refer to as a fart fan. So you might have to keep that window open to share the love with the neighbors. Now, in the world of toy haulers, this is largely considered like a smaller hauler, but that's the thing. Smaller and toy hauler just don't really jive together in the same sentence. This is something that, even despite its quote smaller size, look at the weights and the measures. I really feel like you're in kind of 1-ton country here. The thing is, a lot of RV dealership agents are taught to try to pair up the RV's empty weight against your vehicle's maximum weight. RV minimum against vehicle maximum. Remember that this RV has like 4,000 pounds of cargo capacity. You can fit so much spaghetti in this thing, it's not even funny, basically. And things like that nicer pin box up there helping make sure you don't rattle your teeth apart when you go over a set of railroad tracks. The 6,000 NPS generator that we're looking at over here is a optional piece of equipment, kind of like the patio stuff that we're going to see. You might hear some funny noises in the background. We are in a working facility right now. We're actually in the PDI center of the Valor plant. So if you happen to see some other stuff going on in the background, it's where they go through and check stuff. That's a cool thing Alliance does. They have a 100% PDI rate, where every single unit goes through a PDI process. Now, I'm not going to sit here and promise you that every single thing that comes out of here is a problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata, and everything is perfect. We still have a service center at our dealerships for a reason, but talk to a lot of Alliance owners, and it's one of the brands out there where consumer confidence in their product is growing and not shrinking, and I think the fact that they actually put those extra measures in there is probably a high factor into that correlation. Now, you've got 3-way switches over here for things like the campside slide and awning. And because the All-Access series is not a big, giant drop frame, you have that funky little bump up right there. And with a smaller hauler like this, they usually do have a little bit more limited front pass-through storage area, which, not awesome, but at the same time, you do also have a 10-foot garage that you could pack stuff into, so I don't know that I'm super upset about it. I'm going to see if I can try to get you flat on broadside amidships right here. And it's kind of funny because when I do this, it almost makes the awning feel small and lacking. It's not a small awning. It's just even a small toy hauler is still a pretty big-sized toy hauler. It's a good-sized fifth wheel. Some folks might really dislike the fact that the single awning is over the slide because you lose a chunk of it that way. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Instead of talking about it, let me give you a look at how much of your awning you'll actually still get to enjoy. So here's before and here's after. Now the awning's up quite high because it's a very tall RV, and they wanted to make sure that you can see how much clearance there is above the slide out. There are some RVs that have an awning above a slide where the slide fascia is like grinding against the awning the whole time, and probably not if, but when, you're going to end up with holes in the awning, so you shouldn't run into that here. It does mean that you've lost a chunk of your awning space. I personally feel there's still enough room at least for a picnic table or a couple chairs over here, but yeah, you have occupied some of that awning space. Someone might argue, yes, but you've kind of gained, in a sense, a free slide awning. Kind of, yes, no. I do appreciate where they put the speakers on this, though, because they could just hide the wiring effectively behind the sofa. They put the speakers right down here at the level of your chesticles, so you're not blowing the neighbors away with your Freedom Rock, brother. I do also really appreciate this has a 6-point auto leveling system on it. Now, that's a major thing to look at, because when you start getting into that realm of the smaller haulers, there's actually some out there that don't have auto leveling at all. You know, they're trying so hard to fight the dollars and cents. And that's one of those things that you get so, when you're looking at RVs, when you're shopping, you get so kind of blinded by the sofas and the TVs and the tires and etc. You don't think about the leveling system. So that is a major item that they have on here, factory standard. Again, talking options, the ramp patio kit is one option, and the 3 Seasons patio doors that we're looking at today, that is a separate option. I have a feeling a lot of people would probably like this equipped exactly as we've seen it. But if I may ask you a question, given what we've talked about today with the different things that are optional, generator, bed, patio, 3 Seasons door, how would you want one of these equipped if you were looking at purchasing it? If you would be willing to let me know, I'd appreciate it. I do like that ladder built off the side. I prefer a ladder affixed to the RV versus a removable one. That's my personal 2 cents. Now, when we're in the All-Access series, we have a single 30-gallon fuel cell. When you move up to Big Valor, you go up to dual 30-gallon fuel cells. Something I am happy to report, though, is report as though I'm some field reporter reporting live from the field. Be under that rack and pinion slide, it is a single sewer outlet. Now, I also just said the word under that slide. I like the fact that it's a single outlet, but again, it is under that. Here's the thing, though. What I'd recommend you do with this, when you get to your site, before you open your slide, hook your stuff up, because your gate pull valves are located over here. Just under that skirting, not under the slide. So you do not necessarily have to go crawling in the dirt on the poop side of the camper to empty your black tank stuff. So I don't know that I love the location, but I do think it can be worked around if you maybe change up an order of operations right there. Now, one of the reasons I left this little access panel kind of kitty wampus right here, technical term, is the fact that they make it very easy to get to the backside of things for like service and or winterization purposes, which I appreciate. You may have also noticed, if you're familiar with these things, that is a gas and electric water heater. A toy hauler very commonly is taken away from the parks, and there's a large number of people who feel a on-demand water heater is not the best solution for a boondock scenario. The thing is, the gas and electric water heaters absolutely cost more money. So a lot of manufacturers have been moving away from them. So that's another thing, kind of like the auto leveling, the 6-point leveling system this has on it. It's another thing that Alliance has. It's where they put some of the money on this. And I'm not going to say they've paid for it, because at the end of the day, you're the one paying for it. But that's where some of your cost is represented. So thanks again for tuning in. As I always do, I'll leave you some links in the video description. Whether you're curious or whether you're serious about pricing on one of these, we should have some kind of listing on our site to give you some idea, at least. Pardon me. If not, have actual discounted individual unit sale pricing available to you. Remember, things like the optional generator, the ramp patio package, the 3 Seasons door, plus shipping cost differences. We could have 2 copies of this RV in stock that legitimately are over $10,000 different. That's why we always put pricing on our site, so that you always have the best, realist idea of what one of these things is running. I might try to look up a couple other Valors that I've recorded and leave you some links for those. But in the meantime, if you appreciate what we're doing for you, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you the next time around. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.